Good morning, everybody. We are going to proceed through this book, An Esoteric Cosmology by Rudolf Steiner. We are currently on Chapter 10, which is the Astral World, Part 2. The website is rsarchive.org, and let's jump into it. The Astral World, Part 2. The occultist will never dream of imposing dogmas. He is one who tells what he has seen and tested in the astral and spiritual worlds, or what has been revealed to him by trustworthy and reliable teachers. He does not desire to convert, but to quicken in others the sense that has awakened in him, and to enable them to see likewise. Here we shall consider man as an astral being, as he is revealed by clairvoyant vision. The astral being of man includes the whole world of feelings, passions, emotions, and impulses of the soul. To inner sight, these are changed into forms and colors. The astral body itself is a cloud-like, ovoid form, permeating and enveloping man. We can perceive it from within. In man as a physical being, we have to consider the substance and form of the body. The astral substance entirely changes in the course of 7 years, but the form remains. Behind substance is the constructive, upbuilding principle, the etheric body. We do not, in the ordinary way, perceive it. We only see its accomplished work in the physical body. The eye of sense only sees what is finished, not what is in the state of becoming. The contrary is the case when we are able to see the astral body, that is to say, our own astral body. We become aware of it from within, through our desires and the various movements of the soul. Seership consists in learning to see from without that which in ordinary life we feel from within. Feelings, desires, and thoughts become living and visible forms, constituting the aura around the physical sheath. The etheric body builds and molds the physical body. The astral body is made up of desires. Every human aura has its own individual shades and predominating colors. There is one fundamental color in which the others play. The aura of man, with a melancholic temperament, for example, is one of a bluish hue. But so many impressions coming from without flow through it that the observer may easily be deceived. Above all, he is looking at his own aura. The clairvoyant sees his own aura reversed, as it were, the outer as the inner as the outer, because he is observing it from outside. All the great founders of religions have been possessed of clairvoyant sight. They are spiritual guides of mankind, and their precepts are precepts of the moral life based on astral and spiritual truths. This explains the similarities in all religions. There is a certain similarity, for instance, between the Eightfold Path of the Buddha and the 8 Beatitudes of Christ. The same underlying truth is that wherever man develops one of these virtues, he unfolds a new faculty of perception. Why are 8 stages mentioned? Because the seer knows that the faculties, which may be transmuted into organs of perception, are 8 in number. The astral organs of perception are called in occultism the lotus flowers, in parentheses, the sacred wheels or chakras. The lotus flower with 16 petals lies in the region of the larynx. In very ancient times, this lotus flower turned from right to left, that is to say, in the opposite direction to the hands of a clock. In the man of today, this lotus flower has ceased to turn. In the clairvoyant seer, it begins to move in the opposite direction, from left to right. In earlier times, 8 of the 16 petals were visible, the others undeveloped. In future ages, they will all be visible, for the first 8 are the result of the action of unconscious initiation. The other 8 of the conscious initiation, attained by dint of personal effort. The 8 new petals correspond to the Beatitudes of Christ. Another lotus flower, with 12 petals, is situated in the region of the heart. In early times, 6 petals were only visible. The acquisition of 6 virtues will, in times to come, develop the other 6. These 6 virtues are control of thought, power of initiative, balance of the faculties, optimism, which enables a man always to see the positive side of things, freedom from prejudice, and finally, harmony in the life of the soul. When these virtues have been acquired, the 12 petals begin to move. They express the sacred quality of the number 12, which we have in the 12 apostles, the 12 knights of King Arthur, and again in all creation, in all action. Everything in the world develops according to 12 different aspects. We have another example in Goethe's poem, Die Geheimnisse, which expresses the ideal of the Rosicrucians. According to the explanation given by Goethe to certain students, each of the 12 companions of the Rose Cross represents a religious creed. We find these virtues expressed again in the signs and symbols, for symbols are not arbitrary inventions, they are realities. The symbol of the cross, for instance, as well as that of the swastika, represents the 4-petaled chakra in man. The 12-petaled flower is expressed in the symbol of the rose cross and the 12 companions. The 13th among them, the invisible companion who unites them all, represents the truth that unites all religions. This truth underlies the rites and ceremonies of the various religions. Divine wisdom speaks through the rites and cults which have been founded by seers. The astral world expresses itself through them in the physical world. As in a reflection, the rite represents what is happening in the higher worlds. This fact appears again in Masonic ritual and in certain Asiatic religions. At the birth of a new religion, an initiate gives the foundations upon which the ritual of the outer cult is built. As evolution proceeds, the rite, a living picture of the spiritual world, tends toward the domain of art. Art, too, comes from the astral world. The rite becomes beauty. This came to pass notably at the time of Greek civilization. Art is an astral event of which the cause has been forgotten. We have an example in the mysteries and gods of Greece. In the mysteries, the Hierophant retraced the development of man in its 3 stages: man the animal, man the human, and man the god. In parentheses, the true Superman, not the false Superman of Nietzsche. The Hierophant projected these 3 supersensible types as living images into the astral light, where they were visible and to those who had been initiated into the mysteries. At the same time, they were expressed in poetry and sculpture by 3 symbols. Number 1, the satyr, or bestial type. Number 2, the human type, Hermes, or Mercury. Number 3, the divine type, Zeus or Jupiter. Each of these figures, together with everything around them, represents a cycle of human evolution. That is the way in which the disciples of the mysteries carried over into art what they had seen in the astral light. The zenith of an earthly man is reached at about the age of 35. Why is this so? Why does Dante begin his journey at the age of 35, the middle point of human life? Before this moment, man's activity has been concentrated on the development of the physical body, but he can now begin his ascent into the spiritual worlds and apply his forces for the unfolding of seership. Dante became a seer at the age of 35. It is the age when the physical forces cease to forestall the influx of spirit. Liberated from the body, these same forces can be transformed into clairvoyant faculties. Here we are touching upon a deep mystery, the law of the transformation of organs. Transformation of the organs constitutes man's evolution. The highest in him is the product of what was once the lowest and which has been transfigured. At the time of the separation of the sexes, the astral body of man divided, the lower part producing the sexual, physical organism, and the higher part giving rise to thought, imagination, and speech. In days of yore, the sexual organs, in parentheses the procreative forces, and the organ of the voice, in parentheses the word creative, were united. Two poles have appeared in man's being, where formerly there was but one single organ. The negative pole, in parentheses animal, and the positive pole, in parentheses divine, were once united and have separated. The third aspect of the Logos is the creative power of the Word, as expressed at the beginning of the Gospel of St. John, of which the words of human speech are the reflection. In the old myths and the legends, this truth was represented in the figure of Vulcan, the cripple. His mission was to guard the sacred fire. He is crippled because in initiation, man must lose something of his lower physical forces. The lower part of the body is a product of the past. Raised to the heights of initiation, the lower nature must fall away, to rise thereafter to a yet higher stage. Thus, in the course of his evolution, man has divided into a lower and higher nature. In certain medieval pictures, the human body is divided into two parts by a straight line. The head and left upper part of the body are above. The right upper part and the lower part of the body are below the line. This division is an indication of the past and future of the human body. The two-petaled lotus flower lies beneath the forehead, at the root of the nose. As yet, it is an undeveloped astral organ which will one day unfold into two antennae or wings. The symbol of them can already be seen in the horns traditionally represented on the head of Moses. Viewed from above downwards, head and sexual organ, man is synthetic and one. All this is the product of the past. Left and right, he is symmetrical, representing the present and future. These two symmetrical parts, however, have not the same value. Why is man usually right-handed? The right hand, which is the more active of the two today, is destined subsequently to atrophy. The left hand will survive when the two wings on the forehead have developed. The heart will be the brain of the chest, an organ of knowledge. Before man assumed the upright posture, there was a time when he moved on all fours. Such is the origin of the riddle of the Sphinx. Who is the being who in infancy walks on 4 legs, in middle age on 2, and in old age on 3? Oedipus answers that this being is man, who when a baby crawls on all 4s, and in old age leans on a stick. In reality, riddle and answer refer to the whole evolution of humanity, past, present, and future, as it was known in the ancient mysteries. Quadrupled in a previous epoch of development, man walks today on 2 feet. Let me read that again because I believe the word is quadruped. Quadruped meaning walking on all 4s. Quadruped in a previous epoch of development, man walks today on 2 feet. In the future, he will fly and will indeed make use of 3 auxiliary organs, namely the 2 wings developed from the 2-petaled lotus, which will be the motive organ of his will, and for the rest, the organ arising by a metamorphosis of the left half of the chest and the left hand. Such will be the organs of movement in the future. The present organs of reproduction will atrophy as well as the right side and the right hand. Man will give birth to his like by force of the word. His word will mold ethereal bodies like his own. And that is the end of chapter 10. I don't have too much commentary on this one. I've got a few things I could say, but I'm just going to save it until another time, or until we get into some of the more intricate breakdowns of this material. So that's it for now. Like, share, subscribe if you wish. And that would be great. I've noticed we've gotten, well, let's see, probably doubled subscribers within the last month and a half or so. So that's cool. People must be sharing it. Honestly, all I care about is spreading the word. I don't do this to try to gain maximum amount of subscribers or to try to grow my channel and whatnot. If that happens, that would be great. And obviously, it's all about spreading the word. So, if you feel the urge, go ahead and share, like, subscribe. I think when we get interaction in the comment section, that tends to get more people to see the videos and whatnot. I eventually want to cover many more books, so if we can grow this, that would be great. Like I said, it's all about spreading the word and getting some of this more esoteric material out and accessible for as many people as we can. So, all right, thanks again for listening, and that's going to do it for today. I might do another chapter later on. If not, there will be another one coming soon. Thanks again, guys. Take care.